YouTube, a very, very cold, rainy, dreary morning, and that is making my anxiety go crazy right now. I couldn't sleep. Like, sleep was like null and void once I woke up this morning around like 6 or something. Right now it's 7:50, and I need to go and burn off some of this cortisol, aka adrenaline, because I'm sure it's really, really high. It feels like it's really, really high. I kind of have the shakes and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna go to the gym and do a few workouts for about an hour and see if that helps me. It always does, but you never know with this anxiety stuff. Hopefully I feel better after getting a good sweat out. So I'll hit you guys back. All right, YouTube, still ugly outside, but I did get that workout in and I feel so much better. So much better. So now I have a burst of energy. What I'm about to do now is, oh, shoot. I gotta go get my oil changed before I burn something. So let me go do that. Y'all are coming with me. Let's make it happen. Today, my workout was a little different. To shoot around a little bit as opposed to going to the gym. It can get a little redundant. I'm just trying to come to you guys and talk about relationships and anxiety, or my relationships and my anxiety. So, I've had a lot of relationships where I think I played a really big role in those relationships ending. It's more so my anxiety that played a big part, especially if your partner doesn't really understand how to deal with someone in a relationship who has anxiety. Not to say that they were to blame, or they weren't to blame for like some of the reasons why we broke up, but I can at least say my percentage, my 50%. I know for a fact that my anxiety played a big role. It played a role in kind of like jealousy or impulsiveness, just really not having a filter when I would talk about things if I was upset about something. And that's communication is a big deal in relationships. And if you have someone who is kind of high strung with their emotions, like I was, then it can kind of have the relationship go left. Back then, you wouldn't have heard me say this, right? It's like, it's not me, it's you. You're the problem. I'm not the problem. You have a bad attitude, or you don't know how to deal with my emotions, or, it was always them. I was always pointing the finger. And, now I have a different perspective of that. Of course, I know that they had their issues, 50% of the relationship, and then I had my percentage, my 50%, which was my anxiety. Not to say that we weren't a perfect match. I mean, that probably played a role in some areas. But I know for a fact that on my end, my anxiety played a really big part in that, in some of those failed relationships. Now there were some other relationships where these people were crazy. And I shouldn't use crazy. I should say they were emotionally unstable. So it wasn't just me. I wasn't by myself. And I'm not, I wasn't the only person who needed to talk to a therapist. I wasn't the only part of the relationship who needed, to kind of get their life together. So, those relationships ended. Some of them ended on not so good notes, and others we parted ways amicably. Um, so, anxiety is it can harm a lot of things, even like personal relationships, like family relationships. I think that played a big role in some of the issues I've ever had in my family, certain family members. It can kind of bring a little rift certain areas of those relationships. And moving forward, I kind of want to make sure that I'm okay first before I'm trying to handle a relationship or nurture a relationship. I wasn't really nurturing myself, my feelings, my mental health before I got into a relationship. I think is really, really important, more so now at the age that I am, to really nurture my mental health and make sure that I'm able to take on a relationship, the responsibilities, the emotional responsibilities. Like that's a really big thing, because if I can't handle my own emotions, I don't know how I'm supposed to communicate with my partner about their emotions. I probably created some anxiety for my partner. I'm not even gonna lie about that. We are a little bit headstrong and vocal like I am in a relationship. That anxiety can turn into outbursts, anger, kind of saying things below the belt, like hitting below the belt with some of your words. I mean, I wouldn't mean it, but of course, that anger and that anxiety of feeling like, okay, you're pushing me in the corner. I have to come out fighting. I have to come out swinging. That's what I felt a lot of times in my relationships when I didn't have a handle on my anxiety. And dating people, the first thing I would do in dating people is explain that I have anxiety. Back in the day, I wouldn't explain it because it was kind of embarrassing. It felt like something that was like unheard of, or it's a bad thing. You're not going to want to date me because I have anxiety, right? So once I started speaking with therapists and kind of figuring things out with my own anxiety, I felt more comfortable with it. I felt comfortable with making the decisions to date, not to date, be alone. Now I don't want to let my anxiety control my relationships, because that's basically what I was letting it do in my earlier years of dating. I was letting it get in the way. Um, and again, I still want to make sure you understand I wasn't 100% of the reason why these relationships didn't make it, but I know that I played a big part. My anxiety played a big part. My decisions from my anxiety, from having anxiety, what that did, to some of those relationships and how that made my partners feel. I can't expect everybody to understand anxiety or want to understand anxiety. And that's something I used to really get upset about, is that, okay, well, why won't you look this up? Why won't you read about this? Why won't you, take the steps to understand why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling? I read something, you would understand how to, approach me, how to talk to me in a certain situation, right? But that wasn't fair. I can't make someone want to put that energy into something that they have never experienced before. And, I'm still kind of on the fence about that in relationships. It's like, if you're not going to take the time to understand something about that it's a big part of me, which is anxiety, then how are we going to be together? That was my big thing. Like, how, you don't love me. You don't love me if you don't research what anxiety does to people, or what anxiety does to me. Doing that made, put a lot of strain on that partner. It put a lot of strain on my partner. They had to always kind of tiptoe around me. So hindsight, that wasn't fair, right? It wasn't fair for me to make them feel like they have to understand what I'm going through in order to make me feel good in the relationship. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm living with anxiety. I've gotten older, and I feel better about owning my anxiety. So now relationships aren't that tough. It's the regular stuff that you go through in your relationship and all of that. Anxiety wise, I'm able to kind of like take a back seat, kind of like in an argument, not be impulsive, watch what I say. I haven't always been really good at that right now, today. It gets hard sometimes. I mean, the anxiety makes you question everything. It makes you question someone's facial expressions. It makes you question their mannerisms, their movement around you when you're like arguing or something. You kind of feel like they're disgusted with you, like why did she say it like that? Why did she have that facial expression? Why aren't you looking at me when you're talking to me? When you give me a kiss, why are you not looking into my eyes? I mean, this is that serious, you know what I mean? It sucks, but I mean, what do you do? I really want to thank you guys for watching. Whoever is watching, this channel is not for me to just become some YouTube star overnight or something like that. I just kind of want to document a part of my life that means a lot to me. This journey is gonna, I know it's gonna be a long journey, and I'm okay with that. And just kind of want to share that with people, kind of be a little transparent. It's almost like this is therapy in reality. Like my whole page is therapy for me. Creative therapy is what I'm gonna call it. Creative therapy. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you stay tuned, continue to watch, share the videos, like, comment, subscribe, do all of that good stuff. Tap in with KO. Darling.